There we go. All right, welcome back to the YouTube channel of Pro Ends of Vidz, and this is the Ankle Breaker Podcast, episode 54. So we are into another, hopefully, and should be a big episode this podcast tonight. And joining me is obviously regular co-host in the corner there, all that section, and got a special guest tonight, and the first special guest in a while. So for tonight, it was right to have one on, and that's CJ. So I'll start with you first, CJ. Thanks for coming on, and like obviously we just saw each other last Saturday, which was a
Yeah,
big night. But yeah, bro, how you been?
yeah, doing really good. Obviously, despite the result for yourself, I thought Saturday night was really good. Really enjoyed, and I'm really looking forward to this weekend, obviously. And no, I've been doing very well, man.
Oh, it's good to hear. And you're that section. I don't know if it's your headphones or whatever, but I hear a little bit of an echo, so
Yeah,
I don't know where it's coming
I
from.
heard it as well.
Is everything coming out good, guys? On my part,
Oh, I
or
can
Your
hear
audio
you.
is, yeah.
Yeah, just the
all
echo.
right.
Like, yeah.
If it gets pretty bad during the live stream, just let me know, guys. But other than that, thank you for having me on the live stream. Everybody in the chat, everyone in the audience, thank you for tuning in to another great episode of the Ankle Breaker Podcast, episode 54. And trust me, we got
Yes.
some very, very controversial topics on tonight. So, guys, make sure sit back, relax. There's going to be a bit of blow ups, maybe even a bit of back and forth. So stay tuned. We've got some good topics ahead.
Yep.
Yeah, like the wait and see. But yeah, no, what I said before, it should be a good show, and I've got a lot of things prepared for it to be a big one. So and as for how I'm going, yeah, I've been well. Like obviously last Saturday was disappointing because like
No,
I
fair
wish
enough.
we won, and I wish that it was a win, but no, look, it was a good night to be out, and yeah, we'll be back manly, but just in general, like it's been a big week, plenty of things been said, plenty of big talking points, I suppose. Like it's been heaps of it. Being punched in the head by an older man. So it is what it is. There's also just that filthy side to older people that just seem to be a little bit pissed off that you know at younger people, which obviously shows maturity on the other side of who's older. That doesn't matter of age, but you know, anyway, what's done's done, and I'm happy about it. So I'm really proud that I can, move on, unlike some people. But no, it should be good. Should be a good show tonight. We will go for the people in the chat right now. So let's see who's here. In the live chat, the Warriors and our off names. How you going, bro? Congratulations on the win on Sunday there. Hello, Jason Reader. Hello, Nick. And he says, see all the weekend. Yeah, bro. It'll be
Yeah.
great. I mean, all three of us will be at a couple of games during the weekend for round 5. So should be
Can't
awesome.
wait.
It'll be fantastic that weekend ahead. And hello, Josh Rabbers 2023. And hello, Rishi Sunak. So, yeah, not a bad crowd coming in. 7 people watching so far. So can't complain. Hopefully it builds up over time. But yeah, boys, let's time get into the first topic, I assume.
Yeah, let's rip in, boys. Can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we will obviously go through our thoughts on the round it was. So round 4 was a interesting round because most of the results in the weekend were like with teams and how much they scored was 12. I don't know how many teams scored 12 over the weekend, but like there's a lot of teams, about 5 or 6 that ended up scoring 12 and lost. So coincidental, I guess you can say, but it was it was an all right round. It wasn't the best, but it was definitely decent. I'll start with you, all that section. What did you make of round 4? And I know it was disappointing to see Tigers lose another game, but what did you make about the round in total?
Yeah, it was a well. Let me say this right now. It was not good for me with tipping. I got 2 of my tips right this week. The Cowboys and the Sharks games were the only tips I got right. So for tipping for me was not great, but it was a very interesting round of footy. A lot of close games, a lot of controversial calls, which we will get into very, very soon. But other than that, a lot of teams that I didn't expect would win actually end up getting the win, which is very interesting, because I tip for more of the favorites in this round, except for, Tigers being Stormer. That didn't go up well as the way I wanted it to. But yeah, a lot of surprising wins, and I reckon 2 games this year they could be contenders for game of the year. And that will probably be Para Penrith and Brisbane Dolphins. Gosh,
Yeah, that'd be
how
good.
good were those 2 games?
That'll be
Unreal. It was look, it was a very interesting round of footy, but I reckon it was very, very great. And yeah, I'm really keen to see what round 5 brings to us.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, if anything, round 5 should be a step up from the games that we're looking at for next or this week now. So it should be good. Should be good. Now before I get to CJ, I just realised in the live chat that SS Storm fan, a loyal subscriber of the YouTube channel, become a member of my channel. So
Nice.
look, obviously I've been a bit disappointed with the memberships recently. Haven't really done a big job to promote it or just get more people to join it, I guess. But as a Storm fans, just thanks for joining up, mate. You know, I think look, big things are going to come for the members. Like if you are a member and you're watching right now, better things are coming. A lot more content ideas and other stuff will come out. So just I appreciate that. That's really kind of you, mate. So thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Appreciate it. But yeah, no, look, CJ, obviously your boy's going to win, and you know, obviously I was good for them to win it at a call as their first game of the year at home. But what did you make of the round in general, bro?
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed the round. I thought it was the best round of the year so far. A lot of close games. The quality of footy was actually pretty good. Yeah, I really enjoyed the round of footy. I thought, yeah, at least it wasn't a lot of blowouts. There was only one blowout game. I got 7 out of 8 on my tips, so I did well there.
That's good.
But yeah, no, I really did enjoy this round.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's good. You got 7 out of 8 because I don't know. I found it a very hard round to tip actually. So to get 7 out of 8, it's a good result. So
Penrith messed me up there.
yeah, I think that stuff most people up anyway. Apart from Para fans, that must have ruined everyone's tip on that one.
Honestly, you can't go as bad as me this week.
Well, two out of 8. Like, I'm not gonna take a shot or anything, but like that's I don't know how that happened. I don't know how that happens. Anyway, hopefully it's a better week.
It was it was just a very, very tough round.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that, eh? All right.
Yeah.
On to the next, I guess, sort of topic we can go through now. Your player of the round for round 4. So, look, there was plenty of good players across the weekend. I'm not going to lie. Like, a lot of players stood out and did a job. And, you know, whether that was just a big win or small win, there was always a player that stood out. So, I'll start with you this time, CJ. For round 4, who was your player of the weekend?
It's hard to go past him. I'm going to go to Cronulla Sharks half Nicholas Hines. I thought Nico Hines, the way he came back into the game, the amount of tries he set up, you can tell that the Cronulla Sharks are a whole different threat of a side when Nico Hines is there. And just, mate, he played a 9 out of 10 game on Sunday night. So Nico Hines is by far my player of the round.
Yeah, no, I like that. And your section, what's your player of the round for round 4?
Yeah, I'm going to go someone from Brisbane. I feel like they were probably the team of the week this year. They were absolutely amazing. And it was a toss-up between these 2 players from Broncos. I was leaning towards Payne Haas, but I got to give it to Katoni Staggs. My goodness, he was electric on that center position, and he sealed the victory for the Brisbane Broncos right on full time. So, you know what, Katoni Staggs, he's been killing it right now for the Broncos, and I feel like, you know, a lot of players can be sort of the reason for their success at the start of the season. And I think Tony Staggs is one of those players. So yeah, he's my player of the week.
Yeah, that's a good shout actually, because I think Staggs is finally finding his real potential that we all know he can offer. So it's a good start by him to start the year. But as for me, I obviously was locked in on it before, and obviously I haven't changed it by any means. But there's one player that comes close though. So obviously my player of the round is Nico Hines as well. I think Nico Hines had a great round, and his game against the Dragons was just like why and proved why he's a Dally M player. Like, let's be real, like his influence in that team showed that he is a very important player and a very integral part to the Sharks' success. So yeah, full credit to him, and I think he's my player of the round. But as for the player that came close, I think Cody Walker did, in my opinion. I think
Yeah.
Cody Walker, obviously being at the game live helped because I knew what he was doing and how good he was. And I think CJ can back me up here. That's probably his best game all year because I think he's had a
Yeah,
very
by far.
he's had an average start to the year. So I think that game was important for his confidence there.
Well, when he's not letting opposition get under his skin, he can show that he can be a genuine threat to opposition lines. So I think that helped a lot.
Absolutely, yeah, and I think he needed that game, so that gives him confidence going forward to this season. So
hopefully he continues it against Melbourne.
Yeah, that's a big game, so he'll need to back it up, I guess. All right, that's that. So we will move on to the 5 talking points and the big topics now. So this is huge because, like I said, a lot's been going on the past couple of weeks, and I mean, the talking points about what's happening with a few players or clubs is huge. But we will start off with the biggest one out of most of them, and that's the Eels and Clint Gutherson. So surprisingly enough, it was broken on Channel 9 yesterday at halftime between the Knights and the Raiders game that Michael Chamis, he broke the news that apparently the Eels have informed Clint Gutherson that they will be looking for a new fullback going forward. And they want to find more spark at the back. So I don't know what Eels are thinking there. I mean, I see their point in some way, but I think there's no better option than Gutherson at the fullback position at the moment. All that section, I can see you're losing it at the moment. You're not happy with it one bit. Bro, what is your thoughts on this? Is it a mess by the Eels? Just give us your thoughts. I know you're not impressed.
Parramatta are in shambles right now. They've lost Reid Marnie and Isaiah Papali'i, and I don't think they've recovered since they've lost them. They were going back and forth with Moses on the whole contract signing. Good thing they actually managed to come to terms with him and he's staying at the club. But to tell Clint Gutherson or to inform everyone that he won't be the fullback going into their future, and in fact they're looking for other fullbacks to fill in that position, and to put Gutherson in centre.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Oh my goodness, what are they thinking? I will say this right now. Yeah, I will say this right now. Gutherson's best position is fullback. He cannot play center. I'm sorry. I always go back to that Origin game. I'm fairly certain it was Origin 2020 when his opposing center was Kurt Capewell, and Kurt Capewell exposed him. He's not a good defender on the defensive line. You put him in that defensive line, he gets picked out all the time. And I feel like he gives better opportunities in fullback. When he's running from one side of the field to the other, being involved in those backline plays where he's on the edge. If you put him on one center, you limit his attacking capabilities. All right, he's not going to be the roaming fullback that he's very known of being. And I just think, look, you put him in center, you have someone like, let's say, Moses Sully, Justin Olam, someone like bloody Talakai marking opposing him. They'll run over him easy. Like bloody, I don't understand what they're going at here. They obviously don't have any faith or any confidence that Gutherson is the fullback that they want, and I'm not too sure of any other fullbacks that are off contract by the end of this year, or there probably are some next year. But yeah, this is not a smart decision from Parramatta Eels, and I reckon they should really probably just take a second thought. Like, are we really making the best decision? Because I personally don't think they are, and I feel like if they do this, Gutherson's going to leave, and he'll find another club that will appreciate his services better. But yeah, not a fan of this.
Interesting, very interesting thoughts there. CJ, what do you make of the news about Gutherson potentially moving to the centres?
It's crazy considering he's the only fullback that really plays at their club. They don't have anyone lined up. It's not like they've signed anyone for next year or anything. He's the fullback that took them to a grand final or something that they got to remember. So, no, I don't like the idea. He's not a centre. They don't have anyone lined up. Look, he might not be the best fullback, but he has these games where he stands out for the Eels. So I think that's what Parramatta need to remember. I'm not a big fan of the idea. And look, if Gutherson leaves the club, that's on them because this is a dud decision. And I don't know whose idea it was, but no, I'm not a fan of it at all.
Yeah, well, look, it certainly came as a shock to me and many other people too, because I don't think the Eels would really be that keen to move on their skipper. Like, not move on, like move him on in general, but just move him out of his fullback position. Like, I found that really weird, you know. But look, I don't know. It's a really tricky situation because if the Eagles are looking for Spark at the back, I see a logic actually because I don't think Gutterson's gonna be like a Latrell or a Turbo or a Pappenhausen when he's fit. He's not that explosive player. He's not gonna have a daily M season. He's not gonna like win, a Clive Church or maybe, but not. He's not like a goat status. Let's put it that way. He's not a goat status type player. There's no way he's that. He's serviceable. Like he's definitely got a good passing game, a good running game, and also got a good kicking game. But I just don't think he has that extra skill level to be a real top 2, top 3 fullback like Tedesco, Turbo, and all these other great fullbacks that are here in the game. So, but I think like you have said, there's no real other option or better option as far as I know that's on the market for a fullback. Look, maybe Will Kennedy. There's talk Sharks may move him on to bring Kate Dykes through in the future. Then there's also the rumor is Joseph Manu has been targeted by the Eagles too. So if that's legit, it's a game changer. Like there's no doubt about it. But
it's fair.
Yeah,
I'd have Manu over Gutho.
Why? But why not have Gutherson still at fullback and then Manu in the centres?
Manu wants to be a fullback, so if he gets that opportunity, I think he'll take it.
Well,
yeah, fair enough.
There's that. But yeah, I think it'd be a bit more smarter to have Manu in the centres. But yeah, look, I think Manu, his ambition to play fullback, but is Gutherson's ambition to play centre? Probably not. So maybe he'll look to move on. Like, do we agree on that? He might move on.
Yeah, and I think if they lose Gutherson, that's the low of the low.
Exactly. So we'll see what happens, but it's a really messy situation for sure.
Something happened to Lorenzo.
Something happened to Proenzo. Well, in the meantime, until he comes back, we'll continue talking about Gutherson. So yeah, all right. I'll actually this CJ. Oh, never mind. Looks like he's back on.
I don't know what happened there. I actually pressed the wrong sort of tab there. My bad. Sorry, lads, and everyone in the chat.
No worries.
Anyway, move on to the next topic now. And this is where it gets controversial. Now, this is where it may spark fireworks. It's going to set some people off, etc. So this topic's about the Sean Johnson obstruction try that was given. So plenty of people are going off about it, saying that Reid Marnie got taken out. Therefore, Sean Johnson should have not scored that try or shouldn't have been allowed. But some people are saying that Reid Marnie made a defensive decision to go and tackle Fennell Blake originally, which made Johnson score a fair try. So I don't know where people sitting it or everyone else watching, but that's interesting enough. Then the other one's Adam Pompey. He didn't score a try, but was going to score a try. And what happened there was he lost the ball, but he was claiming that he got raped by Liam Kikia when he was trying to score. And in the motion of scoring, he got raped. And I'll give my thoughts in a second, but that was another controversial call. So people are saying Dogs got robbed and stuff, but you got to remember they got the rub of the green when the Warriors no try to Pompey got given. So it works both ways, I reckon, this whole robbery talk. But all that section, what are your thoughts on both the Sean Johnson try that got given? And after that, what's your thoughts on Adam Pompey no try? Like, do you think they were right or wrong decisions?
Oh my goodness, how that was not an obstruction, I am still trying to understand today. Now, I understand Sean Johnson was running his own line. Aiden Fanua-Blake was the supporting player. I understand that. Johnson didn't run behind Aiden Fanua-Blake. I understand that. But if you can tell me that I can have my supporting player run literally next to me and take out anyone that's trying to make a tackle towards me, and it's somehow deemed perfectly fine, then you are off your head.
Yep.
I don't see how Reed Marnie was making a defensive option to Aiden Fanua-Blake. Look, watch the try again. Aiden Fanua-Blake. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Reed Marnie made no attempts to tackle Aiden Fanua-Blake. He had eyes on Sean Johnson. And what happened? Aiden Fanua-Blake was just caught out, which is, look, Aiden Fanua-Blake can't really do anything in this position, right? He's a supporting player. He's running with Sean Johnson. He can't just stop in the middle of his run. All right. He has to keep going. He needs to keep going with all that momentum. So it's just an unlucky position for Aiden Fanua-Blake to be in. And every other time a similar situation has happened, it's always been called an obstruction or a play was taken out, something like that. But for here, it wasn't. So I don't know what the referees, I don't know what the bunker was looking at, but I don't agree with it 100%. And I feel like that try was it was stolen from the Bulldogs, and I feel like the Bulldogs were hard done by.
Champ, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Were the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs robbed? That's the big one.
They were hard done by. I think in a sense it was some sort of robbery because it was in a very crucial part of the game. I think so.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I'll say. And as for Adam Pompey, I guess it was some sort of like a strip, and he did lose the ball, but look, the ball came out of his hands, bounced on the ground. I don't think you can score a try off that. I mean, that's common sense, really. I mean, they got the ball back, so it doesn't really matter. But that Sean Johnson try, yeah, 100% was an obstruction. That's my opinion. Bulldogs were hard done by, and yeah, I guess you could say the Bulldogs were in some sort of way robbed. That's not discrediting what the Warriors did. They were a very, very good team, especially in that second half. Some might even say they were the better team. They probably were, but that still doesn't take away this Sean Johnson try, which was very, very unfair for the Bulldogs. I do not agree with it 100%. And the referees need to be consistent with these calls because we've seen these calls happen so many times and it's been given obstructions. And yeah, just not a big fan of it whatsoever. And the comments are after me. The comments are after me.
Yeah. Oh shit. No, look, honestly, fair enough. I respect your opinion there. All that section. So yeah, no, look, fair enough, and I that's a good opinion you have there and the way of saying it. So, look, it was controversial for sure. So, what's done's done, I guess. So we can't do much about it. But yeah, it was controversial. I guess the calls there. DJ, what do you make about both tries? Do you think they're wrong or right? Do you think Dogs robbed?
No, I don't think they were robbed, man. I think, look, obviously Adam Fanua-Blake was in the way. But look, like Gus said on Twitter, I think he took the words out of my mouth. I think Reed Marnie even said it himself in the press conference. Look, I don't understand the obstruction rule, so I can't give a genuine opinion because I've never understood the fucking thing. But looking at it, it looks like Adam Fanua-Blake did get in the way, yes, but
so you telling me I can run with my supporting player and they can take out any of the opposition and it'll be fine?
no, you're not allowed to do that, aren't you? Though.
Exactly, and that's what happened. That's what happened.
I don't like. It's always confused me this obstruction rule, but looking at it, it just looks like, dude. I don't think they were robbed personally. I mean, you can make a case for hard done by, but I don't think you can say that they were robbed because they had another 10. When did Sean Johnson score that try?
It was like the 60th minute, I think.
Yeah, well, the Dogs had another 19 minutes to do something about it. So, look, I think both calls were very rough and could have been handled better. I wouldn't say I agree with both calls, but I don't think it decided the game personally.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Oh,
Yeah, the
well,
comments are going.
personally, yeah,
That's my
I'll say
opinion.
this right now. Well, I'll say this right now. I don't feel like this is a win that the Warriors should feel proud about because I feel like that was a given try.
I just don't know
And
if it was a genuine obstruction,
yeah,
bro. I'm
in
not
my
running
opinion,
into it.
no. Well, I'm sorry, you can't run with your supporting player, and he can't take out every single player of the opposition. I think the referees were very
Yeah,
inconsistent
but
here,
isn't it
and
only
the
if it
Warriors
was
should.
with intent?
Sorry.
Yeah,
I think that the rule is it's only if you do it with intent. Did Adam Fanua-Blake intentionally take money out?
Well, then you're just going off if it was intentional or not, which can be very subjective.
Yeah, I know that's probably
So
something hot water to say, but I'm just going off by what I see in the rule book.
it's in my opinion, Warriors should not feel proud about that try. Very, very controversial, and it doesn't really prove anything about the Warriors being a different team this year. I still rank them bottom of the ladder.
Fuck.
yeah. Interesting.
It's
Yeah,
my
as for what
opinion.
I think, yeah, as for what I think both tries had controversy, but with the Sean Johnson one, you know what? I reckon Ray Marnie was not taken out personally. I think Ray Marnie. I don't know. Fanua Blake was running obviously at pace, but I don't think Ray Marnie like could have fallen off the way Fanua Blake was running. Like Fanua Blake was not running with intent. Like he was
I
just
think it
like
was a fair
jogging
try.
sort of.
It was a
I
fair try.
reckon. I agree with Jack his comment here. I think Reid Marnie was hoping for a penalty. I think he was because I don't think he could just fall back like that after Fanua Blake was just running at like minimal pace. He was barely running. He was just jogging and. I think Marnie was over exaggerating that form to get a penalty. And either way, I don't think he was getting to Johnson. Like maybe we've got Johnson, but I think Johnson was close enough to score a try. So that's what I think
I think
personally.
the Warriors won fair.
I,
Yeah, I'm with you.
I will say. I will say this. I will say this to the comments that are saying that I'm salty and I'm just a hater.
Oh,
I give my opinion because I'm a rugby league analyst, okay? And if you can't handle those opinions, you're happily to watch any other podcast. But
Oh,
this is my opinion, and it's not my fault if my opinion butt hurts you. So sorry guys, but I'm not changing that whatsoever.
yeah, look, we've got to just respect each other. That's all that matters in the end. But yeah, look, that's what I think about the Johnson try. And as for the Adam Pompey one,
that's crazy
look,
too.
I personally thought it was raked out. I think it was. I think Kickout's hand had too much of an impact in the way the ball was getting like moving out of Pompey's hand. I think there was too much of a support there to make the ball loose. I mean, yes, it did come away. The ball did come away from his arm at one point when he was trying to put it down. But I think he knew what he was doing. He knew he had to try and stop the opportunity for Pompey to score. So I think he knew what he was doing. So I reckon that was a wrong call as well. It should have been a penalty, in my opinion. So I think it was strict personally in that one. I think that was a bad call. But the whole Johnson Ray Marnie one, look, it could have gone either way. But yeah, that's my thoughts on them both. But I think we should move on because everyone's getting upset from what it looks like, and it's
Yeah.
everyone's frustrated.
Obviously, they can't handle the truth that it was a dud call. So,
I
my
don't know.
opinion.
Well,
All right. Well,
Truth,
I'll tell you
truth
what.
hurts, guys.
Look, I'll tell you what. We go from controversy to incontroversial. So the third topic. Is were the Manly Seagulls robbed on the weekend against the Rabbitohs? So we know what happened. There was obviously it was early in the game. It was like in the 30th minute, I think, because it was like 10 minutes till half time at that point. Josh Schuster bumped off the Rabbitohs defender to get the ball away from off to Brad Parker, and then Parker got on the outside of Campbell Graham, and he passed the Schuster back inside, and then Schuster passed it to Travojevic, and they deemed that as forward.
Uh,
Look, I'm going to go off in a minute.
Lorenzo,
Obviously,
you should have seen his face when it was scored the first time.
I was not happy,
He
and
was fuming, bro.
I'll go and give my thoughts in a minute. But CJ, I'll
Yeah.
ask you first.
Yeah, look.
Were Manly robbed at any stage of the game, and do you think that this pass changed the game?
Well, it wasn't a forward pass. You can't even as a South fan, you can't claim that it was a forward pass. Personally, I do think Manly do have the right to feel dudded. Obviously, that forward pass, which I don't know how you call that forward, it was back clear as day. I'm not going to say robs, but you can definitely make a case for it if you wanted to, because that forward pass, I don't know if it changed the game, but it definitely, look, it did set a tone for the game. So, as a South fan, look, Manly have the right to feel dudded, and I do think we got lucky, yeah. I'll take it. We got lucky.
Yeah, fair enough. And all that section, were Manly robbed over the weekend, yes or no, by that forward pass?
Well, still, look, the call was very early in the game, so hard to call anything a robbery if it's like in the very first minutes of the game. But my goodness, was that a terrible call? Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know what the touch judge or the referee or even the bunker were looking at, but yeah, that was not a forward pass any day. Was it a deciding factor of the game? Yes, it was. Manly scored that try. It's a different game from there. There's no field goal win, and yeah. Oh, that's just the truth. That's just the truth about it. You know, it was a very very controversial call. Manly have every right to be upset about that, and I think you can make the case that it was somehow robbed from them, because that try would have been a very it would have been a huge turning point within the game. So
Yeah.
yeah, oh man,
This is why
it just shows that it. Go on.
I was going to say, this is why you need a forward pass technology sort of thing. So
Definitely.
these things are
Exactly.
preventable, because we don't want games
Oh
being
yeah.
decided by stupid calls like it. And yeah, look, as a South fan, I'm prepared to say Manly were dudded. Yeah. I mean, I think it's only fair. Like, we got lucky. It's simple as that. And look, a game shouldn't, I don't know, man. It wasn't a forward pass. So I don't know where they've got that from.
Well, it's just more proof that with this game and even with the Warriors Bulldogs game, that the referees have had shockers this week. So not a good performance from the referees at all, making some
No, not this
terrible
week.
calls.
Yeah, fair enough. And look, to make it worse, Graham Annesley, who obviously comes out and gives his final call on some of the controversy that happens over the weekend. He said himself that Manly were robbed. So
Oh, no.
so even he believes it. But I don't know. Look, see, obviously about the game as a Manly fan, you know, I was obviously angry that pass was scored forward, and obviously that it did change the game quite a bit. Like it definitely did. But I think just being there watching the game go by the motions and stuff, it could have gone either way towards the end. It felt like I really thought that maybe it happened around the 50th or 60th minute. Yes, I think we were robbed, as that becomes more of a crucial time in the game, and that, you know, basically any points from the last 20 minutes or so, that usually deems you a win in most cases anyway. But because this happened in the 30th minute, I'm not going to say that we were robbed, and I'll be honest in saying that. I think,
That's fair, man.
yeah, it was a wrong call, 100%. We should have been given the try there. Tom should have went under the six there and scored, no doubt. But like like Anthony Seibold in the press conference, I watched his press conference after the game, and he said himself that, you know, he won't get into it because it was early in the game, and he thought himself that we had enough opportunities after that pass being called back
No, well said.
to score and still win the game. So I think that was mature by him, and I think I have to take his word for it. So I think
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
But
No, that's well
yeah,
said by Anthony Seibold.
but just terrible performance from the referees. You know, with Sean Johnson and now with the forward pass,
Something needs to
very
be sorted.
honestly, should be ashamed of themselves.
Awful. Yeah, look, the referees need to get their act together, and they won't. I know we say it so many times that they want the referees to improve the next week, but they don't. So look, there's got to be something happening.
Just don't be shocked if a robbery happens at a game we're at, because the
Yeah.
referee.
Well, we've already seen one robbery this week, so it wouldn't surprise me if you see another one.
Yeah.
Sorry,
The
guys, had
referees
to
at the
say it.
moment are very dark.
Mm.
The refs are dud at the moment. So look, I will just say we weren't robbed, but it was obviously the wrong call that made an input in the game.
Yeah.
There's no
Nah,
doubt
that's
about that. Okay, on to the fourth and the second last topic of the show. The Broncos, yes, they are on cloud nine at the moment. That's the best way to put it. The Broncos are on cloud nine, and they're killing it. They are finding their momentum this year. They seem to be all connected and playing like a side that, well, they're playing like a Broncos side that we haven't seen play like this in ages. And it's a breath of fresh air to see a club like them at the top again. But 4-0 so far, and the next 3 weeks they play Tigers at Suncorp, Raiders in Suncorp, and the Titans at Seabus, I think. So, wow, if you're a Broncos fan, you must be over the moon the next couple of games you've got coming up. I'll start with you, all that section. With how the Broncos going so far, and the next couple of games they got, Tigers, Raiders, Titans, next 3 games, is it possible they can go 7-0? Is that possible?
Very possible, and it hurts me to say that because I don't want to see them beat my beloved West Tigers, but it is very possible, and it wouldn't surprise me. It honestly wouldn't surprise me if they went to Magic Round undefeated. With the way they're playing right now, they can beat any team in the competition. Any team. You can throw them against. Look, you throw them against your boys, Manly. Throw them against CJ. You can throw them against South. Throw them against Roosters, Para, and I can see them beating all those teams. They are on a different level. Everyone just seems to be playing so well with each other. The chemistry looks amazing. The Brisbane have finally figured things out. Reynolds, Staggs, Haas, Walshy, all playing their best form. So I look 7-0 is very, very possible unless one of these 3 teams pulls off a huge upset. But I even say this right now, I wouldn't be surprised if they go to Magic Round undefeated. Honestly, I really would not. I really wouldn't be surprised that they're playing that good, and they should be very proud of themselves because they've really changed things around.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's just refreshing, I guess, to see someone like them come out of nowhere and play this well. So that's good. It's good. It's good to see that. CJ, looking at how they go on the draw the next couple of weeks, can they actually go 7-0 the Broncos?
Looking at the draw, they probably go 8-0, 9-0. Yeah, they're a good chance of going 7-0. But we all know in the NRL, one really weird game happens and streak breaks, and I think that could be the Titans or the Raiders. I don't know, but look, I think they will go 7-0. Personally, looking at it right now, they're just something in that team has changed, and it's changed for the better. The Broncos of old look to be back, and yeah, I think they will go 7-0 looking at it right now, but they've got to get past the Tigers this week, which, in all due respect, shouldn't be too hard at Suncorp. But yeah, I think they'll go 7-0.
Yeah. No, look, I will say just quickly as well that the Tigers actually have a good record over the Broncos too, and this is one for Champa because the Broncos have not been the Tigers since 2018, I don't believe. So that's nearly 5 years now. So does that continue? We have to wait and see. But look, sorry, but at the moment the Broncos are going to go 7-0. There's no doubt about it. I think they are going to win all those games coming up. And yeah, I think the Broncos and the way they're playing at the moment, they're a real dark horse. And look, I know it's a long season, and obviously 27 rounds, it's a big season ahead. But look, I think if the Broncos keep this up, they're obviously contenders for me anyway. They are contenders. They can definitely go the whole way. And yeah, like I really do believe in how they're going so far. I believe in the process. They're going well. Kevin Walters is doing a good job there, so I do think there's a good chance they can go 7-0 and go the whole way. It's a long season, but
that would be
there's a
a
chance.
crazy story if they went the whole way this year.
Oh, it would
I
be.
will say, look, I want to come out with a bold call here, boys. Bold call.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this? And
Yeah.
taking some time to think about it. Brisbane will not lose more than 5 games this year.
So you reckon about 4 games, anything above, under 5, you reckon?
Under 5. I want to be. Look, they probably won't even lose more than 4 games this year. I've said it. I said it.
Wow.
They're a different team this year.
Well, if that's the case. They come first or second, I assume. That's crazy. So
They
yeah,
can make this could be such a great story for their club, man. If they're looking really good right now. But we'll see how we'll look back on this in 20 weeks and be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see how far they've come from this time going forward. But yeah, no, I think they can do it. So we'll see what happens. And on to the very last topic of the show now, and it ends off with, as you know, very mixed news. It's very mixed news, obviously for me as a Manly supporter. But look, I don't know. Look, I want to hear your thoughts on it. First, I'll go over your last section. What do you think about Aaron Woods coming to Manly on a trade deal, and young forward Vili Fafita and Alec Tuatavaki going to the Dragons? Like, is there any winner out of all this? And what do you make of Woods coming to Manly?
Well, I think the winner out of this is the Dragons because they just picked up 2 young prospects that they can, they can develop and turn into to top forwards. I think the biggest losers here are Manly because they recently got rid of dead weight and Martin Tapau, only to pick up more dead weight in Aaron Woods. Like it's ridiculous. Like, yeah, depth I understand, but Manly already have so much depth in their team that like Aaron Woods isn't going to change anything. Really, Manly are one of those teams right now where they don't really need to be looking for any players because their whole team list is really set. The one position I would probably change is their hooker position, but this is where depth comes in, like they already have, and um, young Gordon, Chan Kum Tong, is coming through the ranks.
Right.
So he already has that hooker position filled, and honestly, yeah, I don't understand what this is. I really feel like they should have kept those young players, those young forwards. What was it, Fafita and Tuivavaki? Yeah, I really feel like they should have did more to keep those players. But well, look, who knows what Aaron Woods could provide? I mean, look, he's only got like what, a year or two left. I mean, he's too busy. He's too busy on Triple M. So,
True.
Most of his time is on Triple M with bloody James Graham and the rest of them. So, oh well, Manly's giving him an opportunity. And look, to Fida and Tuivavaki going to Dragons. Look, I hope they kill it over there. And look, something that the Dragons definitely need is some young forwards coming through the ranks. So I think the biggest winners here are the Dragons, and unfortunately, Lorenzo, the biggest losers here are Manly. Though I don't think it's going to affect their team list. They're still very, very strong. They didn't lose anyone notable. It's just Woodsy. It's just dead weight, man. Like, you can do without it, mate.
Oh, look, it's strange. I agree. And I didn't see it coming at first, so we'll see how it goes, I guess. CJ, what do you make of the trade? Woods to Manly, 2 young forwards go to the Dragons. Like, what do you make of the trade? Is it fair? And who wins out of it?
Well, I don't understand it, but I mean, I guess if you're looking at the positive of it, at least now you got some, depth there, some senior experience, someone who can mentor the younger kids. But at the same time, unfortunately, Manly's just lost 2 of their, great young prospects coming through, and got Aaron Woods out of it, who probably won't even be in the NRL next year. He's probably going to be retired and commentating on Triple M Saturday Footy next year. So, look, I don't understand it, but look, if Anthony Seabold sees something there and something he can do, then I guess give it a shot. But I'm not a fan of it. I think Dragons have won this fairly, very, very well.
Yeah, fair calls. Well, look, I think it's weird. First of all, we've got Woods because I was wanting a Max Fiagi maybe or Feagai. I think that'd be a fair trade if you've got him. Or Jane Hunt. There's that young Jane Hunt, that young back row for the Dragons. I wouldn't have minded either in a trade deal. But we've got Woods. And yes, I don't think that's a good signing by all means. But the only positive I can see out of Woods coming to Manly is that he'll provide depth, experience to the younger forwards because we have got a young crop of forwards at Manly, despite Fifita and Tuatavaki going. We've got a young pack, so I think it'd be good for them guys. Look, he obviously knows the Voyage brothers, Jake and Tom. He'll know DCE from a long time ago. He's reuniting with Shane Flanagan, the assistant coach, because they worked with each other at Cronulla in 2018. So he knows Flano as well. So I think it's an easy place for Woods to fit in because he knows a couple of people in that club. And as a kid, he was a Manly supporter growing up, which is interesting. So if he can show that if he can reinstall that passion he had for Manly, that'd be great. Like if he can just do a job and play with heart. But look, he'll be lucky to make the 17. There's no doubt about that. He won't make the 17. He'll be Blacktown at best. He'll play every week at. Maybe if there's injuries, he'll come in and maybe he'll be like another Tamo for Cowboys or another Tapau for Broncos, like one of those experienced forwards coming off the bench type thing. But look, he's not in our best 17 going forward, just experience and I'll take it, I guess. But as for Fifita and Tuatavaki, yeah, I know a lot about them. Fifita will miss more probably. Alec is good. Just his injuries have held him back a bit. So hopefully at Dragons they get their opportunities worthwhile there. But it's Dragons and they're a lot worse state than Manly are. So hopefully they know what's coming. But it's a funny trade. But we'll see who performs better. I guess the two Manly players or the Dragons players or Woods. But everyone and boys, this brings an end to the podcast for tonight. Episode 54 done and dusted. It was a good show and I enjoyed it. It was a really good show to talk about with all these controversial topics. Yes, it was very controversial, but it was a fun show and I enjoyed it. So CJ and Champa, thank you very much for joining the podcast yet again tonight. I appreciate it.
Nah, thanks for having me on, man. Great podcast. See you boys this weekend and hopefully all our teams get up this week, eh?
Let's hope so.
Exactly. Thank you everyone for watching, and thanks for giving your honest opinions about what you think I am. So yeah, a very very controversial episode there, but other than that, good episode nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely it was good, and make sure you subscribe to both CJ and Champa's YouTube channels. Both of them are linked in the description down below. So yeah, show them support and help them out as well as myself. But yeah, that brings an end to the podcast. See you next Monday for episode 55. Should get even better, and yeah, we're going to meet up this weekend for round 5 of the NRL. So it'd be good to get some photos and go to the games. So it should be good. But everyone, thanks for watching. See you next Monday, and have a good night.
See you guys.